Hey, y'all. Welcome to the channel. This is Koi. Um, Again, welcome to the channel. This is where creative souls reign abundance and really get support on their spiritual entrepreneur journey. I love to support entrepreneurs. I do believe that entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey, and I'm totally here to support that through my many different skills of creative wellness and um, tapping into these vibes with cards and my artistic medicine. Perfect. So, you just tapped into a self-love reading, okay? Um, there was a time where I didn't want to ever do love readings, but I'm really tapping into the energy of love. But I want to share with you all that we can't really have the love that we really love and desire until we have it with ourselves. We're all grown on this channel, I'm assuming. I hope that you're over 18. But sometimes you need a little bit more seasoning to really understand yourself and ways to love yourself. And sometimes that looks like being alone. And I have been through the ringer with love. So I really want to get into that. And also too, entrepreneurship deals with a lot of self-love, getting to know yourself so you can remove blocks. And when you have that self-love, that is part of the medicine of strengthening your intuition. So I just want to share that with you. Enough talk though. One more thing before you get into the reading, I definitely want you to check out the links below. I have open queue for readings, and I would love for you to check out my Queen of Wands Club, where I share entrepreneur stories, and I'm going to be sharing exclusive content where you get to see my creative process for my own personal oracle deck that I'm creating, y'all. So I have a crowdfund. It's called my Soul Called Crowdfund. And if you buy certain items, you can actually be supportive of the crowdfund. All right. So I'll talk about it a little bit later. I'm already 2 minutes in. Let's get into this message of self-love. What do we have for my creative souls, my creativepreneurs, and my spiritpreneurs? What message wants to come through? Are you being true to yourself, or are you going against what feels right? What you feel is right. Let's get another one. Okay. All right. There's no need to be perfect to inspire others. Let others get inspired by how you deal with your imperfections. All right. So it looks like we're dealing with imposter syndrome. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a lot of self-doubt going on back and forth in your head. Some of you may not even put things out because you're just like, oh, I don't know, and just freezing up. But for others, you may be like comparing yourself to other people's artistry and things like that. Or you're just having a hard time finding yourself. There's a need for you to really look within and embrace your uniqueness, right? But how do you do that? Well, we came to the right channel. But this is where you find inspiration on my Queen of Wands Club on Substack, because I'll talk about that. How do you find that? By being intimate with yourself, by taking time with yourself, by meditating, by connecting with your spirit crew, your higher self, your guides, your guardians, your angels. I get deep into things. And how do you be true? Why following your intuition as well, right? You don't have to be perfect, because perfect is really just a word that is, I want to say, like a cliche word in a way. It's not something that is almost like, what are those rhetorical questions? And it sometimes makes you think, well, what the hell? Like, why would you ask a question that you don't want to be answered? Why have a word that really is unfathomable? What is that? That word just flew out. I don't know if that even fits into the puzzle, but I think you know what I'm talking about here. Like, we are already built in the perfection of who we came here to do. And our soul knows that once this lower self or this human self aligns with the soul, the path is already perfected for you to just walk through and do the damn thing and listen to spirit and align with love so you can learn the lessons, vibe higher, and not have to rinse the cycle and repeat it, you know? So let's just dig in a little bit with tarot and see what this message is really talking about here. Yeah, I kind of think some of y'all ain't budging. Because look at this, what came out. Like, are y'all actually, oh my gosh. So some of y'all, straight off the back, I think some of y'all are really taking a long time to connect with your dreams and your desires. You know, a lot of people told y'all, oh, you can't do this. A lot of people told you, laughed at your ideas because they didn't understand it for once, right? And some of it too is like, okay, you might not really know where to start, but ruminating in your head constantly over and over again because you want to be perfect about it is not going to allow you to start it. It's going to take years messing around with this old Knight of Pentacles, okay? And it's like I'm hearing like, get up off your ass, get up off your ass. And let me just say something too. Like a lot of times procrastination is just that stagnant energy that you're forming within yourself because one, the mental energy is being used up and it's draining you because the self-doubt is telling you like, oh, you can't do this. And then you're trying to fight it, right? And oh, that is draining. It's draining. I've been through that. I've been through that when I was sitting in a cubicle. I was happy that I was on this flight of career. I graduated and I said, okay, let's see if this degree is going to help me with something. But definitely after a year in, it was like, this can't be life. That's how it was for me. And then the next year I was up out of there. But I had a hard plight journey up until now. I'm talking about, what is that? It's going on 12 years almost now. But needless to say, this isn't about me. This is about my crew and my people that I'm speaking to. If this resonates, please let me know in the comments. You are worthy to go after your dreams and your desires, but you also have to understand yourself. You have to understand and recognize your emotions that are underneath, past skin deep, right? Go a little bit more. I'm about meditating. I'm about figuring out, understanding different ways to meditate. Sometimes you may have to sit still to meditate. Other times you may have to doodle to meditate, color to meditate, paint to meditate. You might have to do a puzzle to meditate. Go outside for a walk to meditate, swim to meditate. There are different ways to meditate. You have to figure that out though. And that's the part of self-love that I'm talking about because it does win all. The Knight of Cups is all about giving to self, giving that romanticized energy, self-love energy. It's like the original Knight of Cups is kind of like your knight in shining armor, but we're talking about self-love. In order to embody that, I have to tell y'all because this is just popping in my head. I remember watching this video. I think it was on YouTube, and this woman was talking about how come every time you get into a relationship, those old flames start coming back, right? And then it reminded me, like, it don't be old flames sometimes. It just be more people wanting to be up in my face. And I thought about it, and then she said, it's because that you're in love. You're in the energy of love and you are vibrating the energy of love. And that shit was like, what? Because it makes sense. Like, you're in that energy. But a lot of times we are so ingrained, because this is how society was told from parents to grandparents to great great parents and stuff, that we do need this other partner. Now, I'm not saying you have to be by yourself. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that we are, as a society now, are learning that it's okay to love ourselves and make decisions out of love instead of because someone told us that this is the right way to do things. You know what I mean? There's so many decisions that are based on what will they say about me, you know? And when you have self-love, it's kind of like, I don't give a what they're saying about me. I'm going to do me because I know who I am. I love myself. I'm not hurting anyone. And it would be hurting yourself if you went against what doesn't feel right. Right? And sometimes we have these dreams, right? Sometimes we do have these dreams that may feel outlandish. They may be a little bit outlandish, but it's okay. You keep trying, you keep going at it, right? And defining, chipping away things that aren't really truly grounded in love, right? That aren't really authentic to you. And also that aren't really that logical too. You do need intuition and logic at play here. That's the balance. That's the mind and the heart speaking the same language. When the mind and the heart doesn't speak the same language, we can have a problem. We can have a problem. I'm telling you, y'all. 10 plus years and answering to all these people, doing things that I thought was right but wasn't. Doing things because people didn't understand me and I stopped. You know, it's so many different things that can happen, but you have to be able to sit still enough to understand, like, okay, is this me or is this them? Let's clarify. Tell me more, Spirit. Yeah. Some of y'all, like, y'all are bombarded with a lot of ideas. You might have the gift of coming up with ideas like this, right? But not every idea is worthy to spend a lot of time on, right? I don't know if we have any designers in the building viewing this, but when you're creating, you do need to take breaks and step back, right? Literally, like, almost like when people would never think that a detective is creative, right? But they do. It's a creative mind, creative mindset. They are following their intuition, their gut hunches, and they're putting together pieces of puzzles, right? And then when you step back, you start seeing all those lines connected to things. That's just like a designer. That's just like an artist, right? I think that there is something within you that you're discovering, more spiritual, more intuitive, right? And getting used to that, because intuition does not make sense. It does not. It's total opposite of logic. And our logic, a lot of our logic is based off of societal views, right? And some of us just ain't from this type of freaking realm even. You know what I'm saying? Like, this society just wasn't built by your beliefs and values, you know? And when you get to know yourself, when you get to go on whichever journey, healing journey, definitely entrepreneurial journey with the personal development, you start to understand more of your beliefs and your values. The more you grow, the more you might change your values, because you may have a broader perspective of something, a broader perspective of life. And you have to make decisions more based on yourself. But you can't sit and hold on to things that aren't yours. Okay? There might just be a lot of decisions to make and you're just unsure and not really like, do I do this? For some of you too, I'm thinking of when Chappelle walked away from, what was it? Something $1 million. And people thought he was stupid. It probably was millions of people that thought he was stupid, but he had a certain belief and value where he was not going to say yes to certain things. And he lost like a lot of stuff. I don't know, but he was on hiatus right? We didn't see him in the the TV shows anymore, right? For all I know, he could have got blackballed, you know? And stuff like that, you have to make decisions, right? Are you being true to yourself, or are you going against what feels right? Let's get some advice here. So I was going to say, yep, that's what I was going to say. For some of y'all, you need to journal. Like, look at this. Eyes on your paper. Don't pay attention to other people in the room. Don't pay attention to other people on social media, what they're doing. Spend time writing in your journal of what you want to do. Maybe get a journal dedicated to your own desires and things that, like bucket list or things that make you happy. And write those things down, right? And once you did that, wrote all the things that you can think of that you really like, and just start discovering, do you still like these things? Do you not? Sit with yourself. This also reminds me of going out on a date. Like maybe she took herself to Starbucks, the local cafe. Maybe she wanted somebody to, and I say she, y'all, because majority people that watch me are female, but like I know there's some men in the building. And you might be exploring yourself too. There's nothing wrong with that. This says levity. I can't speak, y'all. This is reminding me of this effervescent bubbles, right? Isn't effervescent like the energy of like kind of like bubbles and gas, like in soda? I don't know. I think I read that somewhere. I could be wrong. But all in all, bubbles go up, right? And so does the stairway. And I think that the more, no, I'm not even going to say I think, I know that because I am a living testament that caring more to yourself helps bring your vibes up. It's not a way of selfishness. It's a way of taking care of self. Self-care is not selfish, okay? When you're doing things constantly, thinking about yourself and I'm going to do this my way. And like, that's a little bit more self-centered, right? But I do want to say to those that are learning, right, to be with themselves, wanting to understand your intuition. It's okay. We do go through these phases where we do need to understand our energy a little bit more. And spirit will put us in a bubble, right? But also put us in like an isolation in a way, so we can hear our thoughts a little bit better and understand certain things that aren't serving our highest good. And it's usually very uncomfortable. And you can get bombarded with a lot of thoughts and emotions, and want to really start comparing yourself like, dang, they over here having fun. When you start feeling like that, especially on social media, please sign off. Please recognize yourself and thank yourself for being aware and really sign off. And then especially to those that journal about it, because that really does play a part with your mental and you really don't need that. I do think that I am speaking to the empaths, right? And empaths, we have a very different type of healing because a lot of times we need to understand our own energy, and it feel like isolation, and we have to pay attention. Are we isolating ourselves because we don't want to feel anymore, or are we separating ourselves so we can actually clear, cancel, and release? Okay, so this is what I have for y'all. All right, if you're feeling the vibe, definitely subscribe. I invite you to take a look at my links below because I would really love for you to be a part of my Queen of Wands Club. This is where we're going to talk more about spiritual entrepreneurship, get inspired by some of my stories and self-care practices, right? And I also have exclusive content for those that want to be a part of my Soul Called Crowdfunding. If you want to support my Oracle deck that I'm creating, If you want to see more of my creative process behind the scenes, I definitely feel that you should subscribe to my Queen of Wands Club. You get a few more exclusive things, so just check that out. Click the link below. And again, I have open queue for personal readings. If you are interested in a personal reading, definitely check out how. Hit me up, okay? And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I want to leave here. Um, if you're a part of the club, right, you can also support me by booking a mini reading or some of my items that I have for sale that support the crowdfund. Or you can just support by sharing with a friend, someone that you know that would love to hear this message. Or just comment below so I can get some of that stuff in the algorithm, okay? All right, y'all. Until next time, I'm out of y'all. Peace.